Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So today's video is going to be something that I got in the next couple clips. So check out all this happy mail that I just received. Did you happen to see the little toilet that's filled with Tootsie Rolls? So Karen Yanni has sent us plethora of Tootsie Rolls, and she sent me this mold, but she made it first and she filled it with Tootsie Rolls for Don. So this is his little toilet, and we actually had it filled with Tootsie Rolls. So I am going to make my own little version of the toilet seat, because all of you know I am in the process of making my own toilet seat. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. I molded my own toilet seat, and I am now making a full-size toilet seat for one of my spare bathrooms. So I want to put this in that bathroom when I'm finished, if it comes out okay. So I pulled out some little tiny pine cones, and I pulled out some of this moss. And I'm thinking this will go with that decor, because I have a very rustic home. And I need to clean this out. I have some little specks in there. So what do you think? I think that will be adorable. So I'm thinking like this wide part will fit like these pine cones. I don't know how many will fit in there. And then like the rest of it, I'm probably gonna put the moss in, maybe a little bit of gravel at the bottom. I'm not quite sure. I might layer it because I don't want things sticking out the bottom. So let me get some gloves on, some resin mixed up, and we will begin. I've got 8 ounces mixed up. I hope I'm not going to use it all. It'll hold about 8 ounces, but like I said, I don't want to fill it up. Plus I need a little bit of the clear for some extras that I ended up having with Renee, and I didn't have enough clear to finish them. So I'm hoping I have some clear to finish those and get those wrapped up. I could show you those extras later. I am going to put my crushed crystal in a little bit, because I put this in my real toilet seat. Just enough to sparkle. And you have to mix this really well. I think I've said that before, like the more you mix, the more it spreads. So you think you put a little bit in? Nope. You just keep mixing. It will spread throughout your resin like crazy. And it will overtake it, so do a tiny bit at a time. And I think I haven't used the Spanish moss in anything yet. I just opened the bag. I thought I used it before, but I didn't. I guess I used my green moss. So this will be new for me. And I'm just gonna kind of like stack it in there. Let me move this out of the way. We're done with that. I was draining my little stir stick in there. So I will move that. So I'm thinking, what is the best way to do this? Oh, I see something in there I don't want. A little black speck. Got it. All right. I think I'm just gonna maybe pour half full. I did not run this through my vacuum chamber because I knew I was putting in the sparkles. There are some bubbles in there. I see them already, but hopefully it won't ruin too much. Let me get another stick. And I think what I'm going to do is intertwine some moss. Oh, I guess this is like one large piece and break it apart. I don't know. I haven't used it yet. I'm just going to intertwine some moss in there with some pine cones in the, I'm hoping this doesn't, I don't know if it's going to sink or float. That's the question. So far, it looks like it's staying down. These are going to release bubbles. I already know that. And I do kind of want them. So this toilet is upside down, so I'm trying to keep that in mind. And I see them releasing bubbles. I should have just dipped them in my resin first, but I didn't. It's okay. It's only for me. So I'm just stirring them around to get all the little bubbles out of these, because they are popping up as it's sucking up the resin. They're fitting pretty good in there, actually, in that big part of the tank on the back. I think I'll put a little more moss in. I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth and back and forth. And then like the area, these skinny areas around the edges, I'll do just moss. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit any. And I didn't have the heart to ask Don to cut them in half. I didn't want him to cut his hands open trying to cut some little baby pine cones in half. I don't know. I don't have a clue because this is pink. I don't have a clue what it's going to look like. I can't even see really what I'm doing. I'm just going to pour a bunch in. And like I said, I'm going to leave this section and I'm going to pour that later. And I'm probably going to be putting some pebbles. I have pebbles and stuff in my real toilet, so I want to kind of mimic that one on a smaller scale. I don't know if you could see all those bubbles popping up. Probably not, but they are. I'm going to grab some more moss. Now this stuff is dried out, so there's no moisture in here to cause any problems later down the road. And I do need a little bit more. Let me get this stick out. Just gonna do the very bottom. Oh good, I have extra. As I suspected. I probably can put more in here, which is cool. I didn't think I would fit this many in here. I'm excited to see this. Thank you, Karen. And thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Teresa, for all those wonderful goodies. They like came within 2 days of each other. Karen's came, and then the next day I got the other 2 packages, and Renee was here, and I'm like, well, look what you started, Renee. Now everybody's sending me stuff. She was the first one to bring me a massive bag full of goodies when she came over the first time. So we had fun going through them. And I will definitely be using them. Everything. It takes me time. I'm only one person, one day at a time, but I do get to it. I still have stuff from other people that I haven't gotten to yet, but I will eventually. This bag is sticking to my hands. It's got sticky stuff on it to keep it sealed. So this is just like guesswork because I can't see what I'm doing down there. I grabbed some scissors. I'm thinking maybe cutting it is a little easier than trying to rip it apart. I'm just hoping I get it evenly around the whole thing because I don't think I got much in the back here. Give me some ideas, guys. I like this mold. It's really funny. Like, what can I put in it? I was trying to think of something hilarious, although I wanted to do this one first for my own bathroom. But what can I fill this with? Like, give me some ideas. This is really, really funny. I'll have to find the link to this. Karen, if you have it and you can send it to me, that would be great too, in case I can't find it. Because I know some people are going to want this one. All right. I think that's all I'm going to do for this. Everything is staying down. It's really not floating, probably because it's all intertwined. I see a lot of bubbles, but there's really nothing I can do about that. That's part of the reason I added my sparkle dust to kind of hide all those little bubbles. Okay. So let that cure, or at least get tacky, and then we'll add some little tiny pebbles at the bottom just to ground it a little bit. I'm going to use this resin into the extras that I poured the other day, and I'll see you in just a sec. It's been an hour on the heat mat and it's still a little squishy, but it's good enough where the little stones will not fall through that. As you can see, I got all my extras done. I have a lot of trimming to do on these. They're a mess. So I'm going to take this little gravel pebbles. Actually, first I wanted to pour in my resin. I mixed up 2 more ounces. I'm going to fill it most of the way and then, oh gosh. I've got extras, you guys. Imagine that. I did not need anywhere near that. What was I thinking? So I'm just going to take something. So I'm glad I didn't put my rock into the resin. Otherwise, all of the resin would have had rock in it. So that's why I did it this way. I didn't know how much I was going to need, and I didn't want to overdo it. Just going to fill up some more rock. I guess I will be making something else. I did not expect it to take half an ounce. All right, I want it like completely jam-packed. I don't want like a clear layer at the bottom. I just want it rock. Because your clear layer is going to float to the top of whatever you have it in, and that's not what I want to see at the bottom. So if whatever you're putting in your resin, you're going to want to jam pack it full so that doesn't happen. Just mix it in until you got it all. And I'm trying not to have like a bumpy bottom either. I think that's like perfect. There's a little tiny bit, but I can't fit any more rock in there without taking some resin out. So, okay, well, I'm gonna spray it with alcohol. And let me find something to do with all this. Oh my gosh, I got so much resin left over. All right, see on demold. I had a massive amount of extras on this pour, so I'm going to go through all those. Although some of these were from the other day, like I said. And that was these. I took them all out and I finished them up for this little clip. So I have 4 little spoons with abalone shell, and I put magnets on the top and the bottom. So I have 4 of those cute little things. And the same pour, I was waiting for clear because I needed to fill up the backs. So I put a little bit of sparkle in the backs, and I made 3 keychains. So I was waiting for the little bit of clear to finish these up. So not all of this was from this pour. I just needed to finish them. I put a little turtle on each of them and made them into keychains. Let me get that one. So those are those. And then I also had this poured from the other day. I put the same shells in his back, but I was waiting for clear to fill him up. So that's the same sparkle. I did have to shine him up. This mold, where did it go? Was not, it's a matte mold. So I shined up his shell with UV resin and just cured it under the light for 5 minutes. So that's him. Gave him some eyes. I didn't really do a whole lot to him. I just shined up his shell. So that's him. Then I had, from this pour, a little pair of shoes. So I just took a silver paint pen and I went over the laces, around the edges, front, back, and I put a magnet on the back of these. So these will go as a pair to somebody. Those are adorable. This is the mold for them, and that was from Into Resin. Then I had a little bit left. So I took some nail flakes. I put it in the mold first, poured the leftover resin. It only took a few drips, and made a pendant out of it. Put the turtle on, covered it in UV resin. So that one's done. And then the leftover pink that I had, why did I put pink? Oh, yeah, I was mixing pink and then I didn't use it. So I made a turtle out of it. So I drilled a hole through his arm. This doesn't come with a hole in it. I know you've seen this all the time with a hole in it for me, but I drilled a hole with that, with my little jewelry drill. And then I made the keychain out of it. And this mold is also from Into Resin. This is not one of mine. This is theirs. And then I still had pink left over. So I made my shark's teeth. These only take a couple drips each, so I don't waste anything. So since they were pink, of course I had to put rhinestones on them. And then I used my E6000 glue and glued on the flat back clasp for all 3 of these. And this was left from this because I poured my 3-inch shark tooth in pink. Because that's what I think I was mixing it for something else. I don't know. It was only a second ago for you, but for me it was yesterday. So I don't remember. I went to go pour some. Oh, that shell. The seashell. Excuse me, guys. I'm still sick. I went to go pour the seashell. Knew I didn't have enough. So I chose this shark's tooth instead and put the rest in the little shark's tooth. So this is quite large for a keychain. I don't know that it'll ever be used as a keychain, but that's what I did with it. And that brings us to the main event. Now, I'm pretty sure this mold is a matte mold as well. It's not made for resin. So I'm not sure if we're even going to see through it. I realized that today. So I don't know how it's going to look, or if I'm going to have to shine it up, or if I'm just going to leave it matte. We shall see. But it's pretty easy to come out. Let me get it put back the way we had it. So it is a little dark, but it's not too bad. I have a lot of bubbles. Here's the gravel, some of the moss. So the gravel's at the bottom. Can we see any? Well, there is sparkle dust in there, but I'm thinking it's going to have to be shined up. Or do I just leave it like this? I don't know. Because like Rustic isn't really shiny. So I'm wondering if I just leave it like this, if that'll be okay. You just can't see the little pine cones as well as I wanted you to. Well, that's it for today, you guys. Hope you like it. You had a ton of extras to look at with me. I am going to fix the bottom of this. See how shiny the bottom is? It's because it wasn't touching a mold. And I will get you some final pictures. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Stick around for those. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye. I had to try it, you guys, so I'm glad you stuck around to see the end because it was well worth all the time involved. I shined it up. You can see everything so much better. So I took my UV resin, high viscosity, and a little brush, a little silicone brush like this, and I literally like did this portion, stuck a lighter to it so there were no brush marks, cured it. Then I did this portion. Like, this took me probably 35-40 minutes, but the whole thing is shiny. I think I'm gonna stick a bar of soap in there, and this will be on the counter in the bathroom when my toilet seat's done. Well, this can go in there now, I guess. Now I'll get you some pictures. I hope you like the end result. It was well worth the time involved. All right, guys. Now you have a blessed day. Bye.